Hello everyone, Koji from Celestial Rhythms, and as promised, this is the moon in Scorpio ingress tomorrow, as I'm recording this, February the 3rd, 2021, Wednesday. And I already wrote about that a few days ago when I saw this chart. This is a new beginning. This is the start of the big show. Sure, we have been saying that many times, and many times we were wrong because we are still hoping. We are always hoping in a way. Yeah, impatience, I guess, is a human trait. So anyway, it's all good. I mean, it's sometimes important to be on guard. It is important actually to be on guard all times and be ready all times. This is what prepares us for when things then really happen. Just important that we don't think, oh, it's shouting the wolf comes, and he will never come. There will be a moment when the wolf comes. Maybe that is tomorrow, when things start getting shuffled in a new way. That's what it looks like. Okay, cardinal cross for Washington DC, 0 degrees, Aries rising. I guess it's pretty obvious, and ingress charts are powerful. They are showing the basic framework for that period we are looking at, which is a 2.5 day period only, naturally, but as the moon is the main lens through which we perceive the cosmos, it's the only celestial body really which circles around Earth, aside from very, very small minor asteroids. The moon is the focal point. It's kind of a mirror, a lens, and the moon's signs are the changing moods we go through, how we perceive reality. So in Scorpio, intense, deep, profound, transformational. It's the volcano's energy, kind of that from deep underground. Scorpio is one of the power animals of that sign, but there's also the eagle. That's the higher level of expressing, living that energy, with the eagle's eye, with the eagle's vision. And then it's the phoenix symbol, which also is related to Scorpio, which is death and resurrection. So Scorpio is a powerful sign. Pluto rules in it, and Pluto is here in Capricorn, as we know, since 2008. This has been a very transformational time, throwing us under the bus first, and then slowly having to recover and building our strength as a people. And I guess we are just about there with now this planet having been in hexagram 61 inner truth for a few years, a powerful hexagram in the I Ching of zooming into what really matters, to seeing the core of the whatever you're envisioning, to see down to its workings, its innermost core. That's what inner truth really means. It's that direct insight. So that has been building over the years, and each time the moon is in Scorpio, this is particularly emphasized. What is further interesting is that Jupiter is pretty exactly here between the Saturn and the Sun. There's actually a really beautiful lineup here: Pluto, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, Sun, Pallas, and Mercury. They're all kind of equidistant, which makes them all resonate in one unit. So if you would do the midpoints here, then the Pluto, Mercury, Pallas, Venus, Sun, Jupiter, Sun, Saturn, all these would meet around the Jupiter's degree, interestingly enough. So Jupiter is kind of the main focal point of this conjunction in house 11. So it is really about a breakthrough in coming together as a people. I guess it all boils down again to that Juno BNR opposition, that empowering of the people by whatever means it's working through our past karma and exposing all the dark stuff that Nessus pathological behavior, which is really has to be brought into the forefront in the only for to be transcended, to be exposed, to be transmuted and changed. It's really that transformation of the lower metal into the higher metal. It's the alchemy which comes in, and that is Orcus here. Orcus standing for that principle of alchemy, of integrating the shadows, ritual, also in a very negative, dark sense. Orcus rules that energy. It's interesting again that this is in the American nation's birth chart, that same opposition, in that same configuration. Nessus in Pisces, Orcus in Virgo. Just zooming back here quickly to show you. Here is Orcus in Virgo, 9 degrees, and Nessus in Pisces, 9 degrees. Actually a most perfect opposition, resonating still with that ascendant, descendant, most particularly T squared by Uranus. So this is a powerful stuff. This is explosive stuff, as we can expect with Uranus here involved. And this is all coming to a pinnacle, a culmination over the next few weeks. It's really been right now there where things start getting hot, as if they were not yet. This is the midpoint of the moon Scorpio chart with the American People's chart. Interestingly enough here, I just want to highlight 25 degrees Leo. I mentioned that in an earlier video. This is President Trump's Mars. 26 degrees Leo is his Mars. Interesting also that this midpoint chart has a 26 degree Libra Sun. Now this is just a few degrees different, the solar position and everything else, than the one I showed you in my earlier video. I'll just zoom back to that for a second. That is one was October 19, 1898, 11:20 a.m. and this one is October 20, 6:14 a.m. Again, this is the hinge, the midpoint, the resonance point between these two moments in time, the birth of the nation and what is happening right now, that standing wave where we're sitting on, which we are surfing as not just the American people, but I would say everyone on the whole globe is resonating with this energy, who is holding the ground for that transformation to take place. The American nation is really just the leading edge. And as I said in my other video, this is America is an idea. It's not a geographical location. It is the idea of creating a new society with a great perspective into the future, and we're just about there, where finally we come out of the childhood whatever shortcomings and puberty. We are growing to age. We are growing into taking back our power and realizing we are powerful and invincible if we unite. That's the whole secret in it. That's the word I'm looking for, right? So this chart furthermore shows the part of fortune. Okay, I wanted to mention that quickly. That's a mirror point between sun, moon and ascendant. So in other words, the sun here is pretty exactly at the midpoint of ascendant and moon, because the mirror point is ascendant plus moon minus sun equals the part of fortune. In the third house, again, we see a repeating theme here, the theme of sharing higher truth in a way everybody can understand it, everybody can grasp it, and start to integrate and get on the same page. That's all what we are working on. The Venus-Saturn conjunction, which is here approaching, will be exact around February 6 in that sense, when the midpoints will be exact here. So it's kind of the next few days really will be a breakthrough, also kind of a sobering experience, starting to see that it's not all just shiny. We first have to become responsible and embrace all the shadow energies and deal with them properly. What adds to the importance of that Scorpio moon is that just hours later the moon will be closest to Earth. That's the perigee. The moon has an elliptical orbit around Earth, and this is the spot where it this month will be coming closest to Earth. Moon has a very wild orbit. It changes all the time, that direction of where it's closest, where it's farthest. So tomorrow also the moon will be closest to Earth, which naturally amplifies its energy. Simple. I guess you can not question that much. When something is closer, it gets more in your face, and this is the area in the I Ching overlay, again speaking of hexagram 28, which is preponderance of the great, which is the beam which bends over the weight of the load above it. It's the flooded river. This is an intense emotional energy release in a way. So last but not least, this is the same moment. Here we had naturally again first the Greenwich chart, and maybe I should say one more thing. Again, the Nessus Okirowi theme, Orcus here. Nessus, the pathological stuff, which is being highlighted, pushed, accelerated. So we could see some really big revelations, disclosures of maybe JB's son's laptop. Who knows what is really being spilled out into the open to be transcended and transformed. Because this is probably the one theme which easily will unite everyone and bring everyone in line to really learn that this is not just a thing of left against right, of whatever, red against blue, or whatever you call them. this is a really dark against light. This is good against evil, and the more this comes out into the open, the more easy it will be for everyone to really align. And that's what is going on over the next few weeks. It will be again an organic process, even though it might be rough and sudden for many, but in its nature it is organic as everything else. If we have the foresight to see it coming, you have to kind of be on top of a tree to be able to see far, to see what when the cavalry is rolling in way early before someone on the ground, maybe hidden in the house. So that's kind of the thing about astrology. You definitely can see much farther, much earlier what is coming. And this is the same chart now for Washington DC. Just want to point out again this axis. You see the same 2 degrees this time in 4th house cusp, the root of the chart, the source point, the zenith is Nessus to bring it out all into the open. Again, this is more the consciousness axis of holding it still, centering it, balancing it out, that energy, whereas the ascendant descendant energy is the one of action, of spilling it out, of it's the equator in a way, which has that centrifugal power of motion, whereas the vertical axis always is about holding the ground and centering, bringing it into a congruence and alignment. So it's happening in a wild way in the United States and will be centered in the global consciousness, beautifully here shown in this chart. I could say many more things. I want to keep it at that. Just once more, tomorrow, February the 3rd, is a 10 or 1 day. So 2 plus 3 plus the 5 for the year gives you 10. And if you reduce the 10, it again is a 1. 1 is the initiator, the starter of a new 9-day cycle, and probably much bigger than that. Again, in the Mayan calendar, it's the crystal monkey, the monkey related to magic and play, but also the play of illusion and to juggle with reality in a way to bring out new aspects. And it is guided. The guiding sign is Akbal, which is abundance, the power of the night, and the night in that pictogram, as understood by the Mayans, Akbal is the depth of the sky, with all the stars, with the abundance of stars, and with the depth which goes into infinity. So there is something really powerful hiding in tomorrow's energy. Very magical too. It will be a galactic activation portal, as is today in bulk. I didn't say that yet. So 13 degrees Pisces, 13 degrees Virgo, for that moment when the moon is exactly closest to Earth tomorrow in Washington DC. And again, look at that, 13 degrees Virgo, 13 degrees Pisces, exactly T-squaring the ascendant descendant axis, definitely activating that spirit of the nation, that it almost will feel like an awakening, what we are right now seeing, an awakening to the nation's true power, the power of the people. So yes, this is what this chart really is the seed for a 4-week cycle. So all through February, this energy will be playing out. It's a beautiful, beautiful chart in many ways. I could say many, many more things about it. Maybe one last thing I want to mention here is this part of fortune at 22 degrees Pisces between Neptune and Ceres. Just want to beam back again to the American Nations chart to see what's getting activated by this group. The black moon at 19 degrees, Neptune at 22 degrees, Virgo, and there's also chaos here, which is another really interesting body, which kind of challenges us to reinvent reality from one moment to the next. In that sense, the original order is chaos. It's sacred geometry manifesting. It's like when you throw a pebble into the water, you see the ripples coming out. And then when we see here, this is opposed by this Neptune, part of fortune, Ceres being caring, love, and the double mirror, the illusion which is pierced through. Neptune has now 2 vortices, by the way. This was discovered 2 years ago or so. 2 big storms. This is very new. This has never been observed before. And if we look at these big storms, they look like 2 eyes. So I mentioned in an earlier video, you can go back and find it. Neptune has now 2 eyes. It has earned stereo vision, so we can see the depth, how deep a lie goes, how or if it's really going to that level, layer beyond the veil and deception, which is zooming in on the deeper layers of what this is hiding. So this is a very interesting play here of energies. Interesting also that in this axis of the Neptune Black Moon Chaos conjunction here, intercepted in the 9th house, kind of inaccessible directly, therefore it's been so easy to program and trick people into believing all that BS. Anyway, the saving grace is Arrokoth here. Arrokoth opposing this Neptune and Black Moon conjunction, and then there is Mars and TX 300. And who is saving the nation? Who is that again? I guess we could say it's the military. Here we go. That's the acting principle on this opposition. Arrokoth again bringing the whole picture together, showing the greater picture, a man standing under the open sky. You can find more on Arrokoth if you go through my list of videos. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Powerful times. It's the beginning of the end phase, most certainly. Buckle up, enjoy the show, and help these people around you who will be in total oblivion when things start happening and falling apart and falling in place. Thank you so much for listening, and share this if you like, if you feel like giving it a like, or subscribe. Anyway, thank you again. Love you all. Take care.